Let's welcome on board Inder Jaisinghani, the CMD, and we also have Gandharv Tongia, the CFO at Polycab India, both of them joining in on the show right now. Gandharv, I want to start off with you first because, while there's been a strong revenue growth that you've incurred in the quarter, your margins have declined. Do you expect this pressure to continue, and then what is your guidance going forward?
There is a bit of a softness in the margin, but I'm so happy to share with you that this was the best second quarter performance in the history of the company. We were able to touch almost 5,500 crore rupees of top line. As far as the first half of the year is concerned, first time in the history of the company, we were able to cross 10,000 crore rupees of top line. You were referring to the guidance. In the fiscal 21, we had embarked on a project, a transformational project by the name of Project Leap, under which we wanted to achieve 20,000 crore or 200 billion of fiscal 26. Considering the fact that we have already crossed 10,000 crore rupees in the first half of the current fiscal, we firmly believe that we would be able to meet our target of 200 billion in the current fiscal itself. On the margins, there was a fair amount of volatility in copper prices. Copper moved from $8,600 per ton to $9,800. And in a situation like this, it becomes slightly difficult for our B2C products like wires to pass on all the cost increases to the end customer. Having said that, our actual EBITDA margin for cable and wire is within our guided range of 12 to 14%, even in the current quarter. And we believe that as we progress into the second half of the year, we would see some improvement in the margins.
Experiencing the overall demand in wire and cables and the FMEG segments, what factors are driving this demand according to you?
So demand environment is robust. We are getting demand across all the sector. As you know, the government capex has also improved in the second quarter of the year, and the private capex is also better than the first quarter. So demand environment is good across all the sectors. The real estate uptick, all of us are aware about it, and we believe that the same growth momentum will continue in the second half of the year.
Right. Gandharv, could you also shed some light on which segments the current capex is being allocated to, and what kind of an impact would it have on your top as well as the bottom line?
So we are the market leader. We enjoy north of 25% of market share as far as the organized cable and wire business is concerned. To maintain our leadership position, we need to incur capex of around 1,000 to 1,200 crore rupees every year for next 2 to 3 years. In the current year, in the first half, we have incurred close to 550 crore rupees of capex. This capex is being done predominantly on the cable and wire side to expand the facilities to meet the requirement of exports, as well as a particular product category where we don't have manufacturing facility, which is called extra high voltage. All of these capex will help us in maintaining and further strengthening our leadership positions in the years to come.
What are your advertising and promotion plans for next year? Are there any new partnership campaigns in the pipeline?
So on the FMEG side, considering as a B2C business as well as for we need to invest significantly in the form of advertisement publicity. We believe a spend between 3 to 5% of B2C top line is required. In the current quarter, as well as in the current first half, we have invested heavily for the B2C businesses, predominantly fan and lighting. And even in the second half, we'll make those investments. This will help us is further strengthening our customer connect, and this will help us in improving the brand recall, which in turn should result into better FMEG performance in the quarters to come.
Right. Gandharv, your FMEG business registered an 18% growth with the company utilizing on capitalizing on a seasonally strong demand quarter. What's the outlook here, and when is it that we can expect, in terms of EBIT for this segment?
Demand environment for FMG products vary from product to product. Fan has a different demand pattern if we were to talk about the entire year. Whereas lighting has a different one. We believe that considering we are comparatively a challenger brand in FMEG, we should be able to grow in the rates which we have experienced in last 2-3 quarters. As far as EBIT margins are concerned, we have our strategic roadmap in place and we are implementing that. And in the next fiscal, we should be able to improve on margins. However, in the current year, it's quite possible that we end up having some amount of losses as far as FMEG business is concerned.
Okay, so your international business registered quarter-on-quarter growth. Do you see plan to expand that footprint further?
Exports used to be around 2-3% of our top line, and in last few years it has started moving towards 7-8%. Even in the current year, it is around 5.5-6%. There are some geographies like US and Australia where we have seen some demand. Even Middle East and Saudi has a fair amount of growth. But I would request Inder Bhai to share his perspective on exports.
Yeah, I think so that we are continuous growing in export. And I think so coming year, we will reach at the level of 10% of our volume. We are looking all big markets in the whole world, looking from the Spain, US, and Africa, and Australia. Every place we are now keeping our offices to see that how to get a market from there. Demand is good everywhere, but we have to reach there. So now we are taking a step. I think so next year we'll cover at least 10% of our total turnover.
Right. So in the house, the margin outlook when it comes to exports in specific?
Yeah, it's basically depend upon a routing item. Margins are moreover same. But if we are exporting special cables, which is basically that demand is good, special cable we are growing, and that margins are very good.
Right. Thank you both of you for taking the time out and speaking with us today, both Inder as well as Gandharv. Polycab.
There comes a time when your heart calls for you to arise. Plant your feet solid into the ground. Decide your own limits. And then break right through them. Become something more. It's my time to rise.